What's up? What?
I said I do have your video. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's weird because so when I watch the counting happen, like you'll get to like 3 or 4 seconds and then it'll start over again. So I was like, I'm not quite sure what the hell is happening. So I just kind of make sure it doesn't happen, but it's
Gotcha.
solid. What's up, everybody? I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome back to another episode of this freaking show. It is the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. The same weekly podcast is brought to you by CarterComics.com. It's a one-stop shop for all your comic needs, whether it be graded or raw. Carter Comics has got them all. All you gotta do is go to CarterComics.com, check out their amazing store, fill your cart up with all their amazing products. Use the discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET, and you'll save 10% on your entire order. Not just on their website, but also their eBay account. Link to it can be found on their homepage at CarterComics.com. You'll be able to save not only 10% with our discount code, but they are currently offering free shipping on your orders. Plus, if you buy more than just one product, you will get an additional 10% off using their multi-sale discount. So, you want to buy more than one comic? Go do it at CarterComics.com. You'll save 20% off overall, plus getting free shipping. So, nice. Go help out small mom and pop shops by buying CarterComics.com. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook as we do a Carter Comic Pick of the Week every Monday. Just kind of just picking a comic and say, hey, buy this one because it looks good. Joe, I didn't ask you last time, but I'll ask you this time.
What?
Can you answer me?
I didn't hear you. You cut out for a second.
I cut out. Geez. I guess the world doesn't want to know how you're doing.
Oh, I'm doing
Joe,
all right.
How are you
doing all right?
How are you doing? Doing good? What are you freaking drinking today?
Currently nothing. I ran out of coffee on the last show and waited too long to decide if I wanted more in between episodes. So, should have got myself a water. That would have been the smart thing.
Water is delicious. I am drinking a different coffee. It is another Keurig. And this one is called Dunkin' Turtle Love.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Turtle Love.
I figure between all the aggressive arguments between me and Nubby over at the JFW podcast, I might as well start showing Turtle a little bit of love. So I'll be drinking Turtle Love. I'm not sure how it tastes yet, but it tastes like I assume Turtle Love would taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
adorable, but weird.
Okay, perfect. That answered my question.
It's actually not bad. It tastes like regular coffee, so I'm not sure. In my mind, when I selected it, I was like, oh, maybe it tastes like those chocolate-covered turtles. You know?
Yeah, that's what it should taste like, right? Caramel, pecan, and chocolate.
Yeah, it doesn't though. Just maybe it does. Maybe it does. Who knows? I don't know if my taste for different coffee flavors is elegant enough to enjoy different flavors. I know I spent years just drinking straight up black coffee, and if I do put stuff in it, it's usually at a diner, drinking diner coffee, which you would think diner coffee wouldn't be great, but it's delicious.
I think diner coffee is the best coffee, not because it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about it. It's not that it's good. I wouldn't want it anywhere outside of a diner, but it is somehow perfect. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe the context, the fact that it's the same cup every time. I'm a big consistency fan. That's one of the reasons. Like, I don't love Starbucks, but if I have to meet somebody somewhere for coffee, it's Starbucks because I know what I'm going to get. It's going to be the same thing, and we can find it everywhere.
Well, when you go to Starbucks, do you get like a regular black coffee, or do you try the I know when we did the flavored holiday flavored drinks stuff over on YouTube for Freakin Studios, we were talking about, I think, espressos or something like that.
Yeah, I mostly just get the regular coffee. Yeah,
gotcha.
Either I usually leave it up to the barista.
Do they do free refills on coffee there? if you stay more than like one cup?
They used to. Now it's like with your card or whatever, it's I think 50 cents, which is fine. I mean, whatever. 50 cents is what a cup of coffee should cost in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind that it's coming from like the equator or whatever.
Yeah, I do enjoy a cup of coffee, especially like I know I'd enjoy life a little bit more if I made diner breakfasts a more consistent thing in my life.
Amen to that. Man, nothing better.
Oh, it's amazing. Like, especially like when you could like walk in there and that's one of the reasons like whenever like me and Derek have been hanging out recently and stuff like that, we I say, hey, I'll meet you at Yanni's in Mantino because Yanni's is one of the best diners in the area. And there's a few diners, being in a small town, there's diners all over the place. But Yanni's has always been the consistent one. Nothing. I'm not taking anything against the Corner Cafe. I'm not taking anything away from Mayberry's and stuff. They're good food too. But for some reason, Yanni's is just nostalgic, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
And I just love the fact I could walk in there and, I could get a ham and cheese omelet with some hash browns, a side of toast or pancakes and their coffee. And, I know I'll go through like 3 or 4 cups of coffee just sitting there. And, obviously by the time the day's over, I'm ready to go home. And, I guess in a sense of not trying to sound too gross, but I guess it's going to be gross, clearing myself out, if you will, which this coffee's doing it. Warm water, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. Like, if you ever needed an aid in bowel movements, warm water.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know the kind of shows my dad watches anymore, being retired in his 70s and being home all day. But it seems like every time I talk to him, there's always something new he wants to share with me as far as dieting and losing weight. And at one point, it was apple cider vinegar, which that was a consistent popular norm for the longest time. Lemon water. Now he's on the drink warm water kick.
Nice.
Because warm water is supposed to help you lose weight, and in a sense it does. And going through this whole like journey of trying to find better ways to live life and find better ways to lose weight and find better ways to just make an overall better life. You look at the differences in what cold water and hot water do or warm water and cold water do for you. And not only like does it help in showering, but also drinking it too. Like cold water overall helps you burn fat. It's called like brown fat. I don't know a lot about brown fat to kind of describe what it is, but basically it's the fat that burns that helps you lose weight pretty much. And, when you do cold showers, it shocks your body into warming up and burning brown fat and everything. It's the same thing with cold water. When you drink cold water, it triggers your internal temperature thermostat to heat up your body and burn fat. But warm water is supposed to help with inflammation and it's supposed to help with regularity and everything. And so I've been drinking a lot of warm water and obviously coffee. It all helps. And I know it's kind of weird to talk about bowel movements on a podcast and everything, especially when I'm out there trying to find love and my forever person. And if I ever tell them, like, oh, yeah, I host a podcast called This Freakin' Show, and this happens to be the first show they pull up, hey, whatever. If they know anything about me, they know that I try to pride myself on regularity. I will tell you this, though. You don't know the struggles of a bad bowel movement until the cleanup takes longer than the actual movement itself. It's a crazy world, but things happen. Joe, depending on however you want to live your life, if you're looking to lose weight or have regular bowel movements, make sure you know the temperature of your water. So
good to know. I'm regular enough without that, but thank you.
So just trying to help, Joe.
I appreciate it.
I feel like after years of us knowing each other, I feel like your bowels are not my bowels. And, I feel like we need to be one in our movements both forward and life.
The amount that we talk about the fast food that we like and eat and all that jazz, like, you're not far off.
Right? If you just don't feel like going to a Taco Bell, drink some more water. It's the same damn thing. Joe, how are you feeling about knowing the fact that we are out of the first month of 2024 already? Does it feel like this year's going by quick?
Oh, no, it feels like it's just going so slow.
Really?
Well, weirdly, it feels slow in the living of it, but it's so fast in the like Lent is in, as we record right now, Lent is in 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's really how my when you're in school, your year is divided between the fall semester and the spring semester and the summer. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm an adult, I do find that I kind of do something similar to that, but it follows I got like Advent, Christmas, Lent, ordinary time. Like or Easter, ordinary time. And, yeah, just it's wild that Lent is just right there. Got to figure that out.
I'm glad you brought that up. And it's actually perfect because we are recording Saturday morning, but this show will be released actually the day of Lent. It'll be released on Wednesday.
Oh, nice. Happy Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you can call it that.
There was a conversation I had with somebody at work, and we were actually talking about Lent, and I made the statement to one of my coworkers that's like, well, what are you giving up for Lent? They're not religious people, but I was just like, hey, what do you give up for the 40 days? But even though Lent's more than 40 days. But the thing is, I don't truly understand Lent. And I'm wondering if you kind of explain to me how, not so much the story of Lent, the history of Lent, but how Lent actually works. Like, what are you supposed to do for Lent? How does it actually work? Why is it 40 days when it's actually more than 40 days?
Yeah.
Also, when it starts and stops, if you could do that too, when it starts and stops.
Yeah. So Lent starts on Ash Wednesday,
yes.
Which this year is February 14th.
Valentine's Day too.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's going to be a big Wednesday.
Yeah, and it is a 40-day period before Easter, so it ends on Easter.
Which I believe is March 31st.
Correct. This year it's the 31st of March. And it is, so the reason it's 40 days is because 40 is a biblically significant number. The Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years. Jesus wandered the desert for 40 days, fasting before he began his ministry. The flood, 40 days and 40 nights, right? We don't know, like from a literal standpoint, if it was literally 40 years, literally 40 days, things like that. Mm-hmm. When you see 40, what you should think is that's like, it's a kind of spiritually perfect number, is the way that the writers were thinking of it, because the number system they used, it made sense to make it 40, basically.
Gotcha.
So like our numbers are usually 10s or 60s or things like that. Cause like 360 degrees is a perfect circle. It breaks down into, 60s and 20s and 30s and all that. Their system 40 is like 360 for us. Mm-hmm. It's like the biggest number that you can use on a daily basis comfortably. Anyway, so that's why they use 40. But because the Bible uses 40, we have just taken and done the same thing. We're just like, they said 40, it's going to be 40. And so this is a period of time where we're sort of trying to emulate Jesus' 40 days of fasting in the desert before he starts his ministry. And so the idea is that you are in preparation for the Easter, not ritual, holiday. In preparation for the Easter holiday, the celebration of resurrection, you are to take 40 days and kind of recreate that period of spiritual wilderness in yourself, where you're trying to get closer to God in some way. A lot of people choose fasting. A lot of people will give up meat. Certainly meat on Fridays is a very Catholic thing to do.
And that's what brings us the fish fillet deals on Fridays.
Yep, that's right.
So thank you, Catholics.
Yeah. So, and the reason we say 40 days, even though it's actually more like 46 or 47 days, is that Sundays don't count. Every Sunday is Resurrection Sunday, and so even though not every Sunday is Easter, every Sunday is a celebration of the resurrection, and so therefore it is not part of the Lent.
Gotcha. Let's say from a Catholic's aspect or a Catholic's point of view.
Yeah.
No meat on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you doing the rest of the time then? Like everything's just normal, so just within that time period, there's just no meat on Friday.
Sometimes it's normal. I would say no meat on Fridays is often the big thing. When I was Catholic, we would often pick something to give up on top of that.
Okay. Why don't you give up your anime show for Lent? See how that goes.
I mean, I could.
Right? Could you do it?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah? You just got done watching 100 episodes, right?
Yeah.
In a week?
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, and I'm definitely at a part where it's like really, we're in like it's boring. There's a lot of recap episodes happening right now, and I kind of don't want to, I actually don't want to watch it right now because it's so boring.
What about what's Good Friday? That's just the last Friday before Easter, right? And
yeah, Good Friday is the Friday that commemorates the actual day of the crucifixion, and it's called Good Friday not because what happened was good, but because the crucifixion happened, and because we know that death is not the end from a Christian standpoint. The resurrection is coming. That's what makes it good. It's not that it's It's bad. Crucifying someone is bad, even if it's Jesus.
Yeah, I've heard.
But the fact that Easter Sunday is coming, we can say, well, it's a Good Friday.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about what I would want to give up for Lent, and there's obviously a bunch of different things I could do. Smoking could be one. Ordering food could be one. Maybe even making going to the gym X amount of days, and stuff like that. And
yeah, so I'm a big proponent of, what we can get into these habits year in and year out where we say like, I'm going to give this up. And then we don't give it up because we've gotten into the habit of not actually giving anything up. And so what I like to do is to find a spiritual practice to add. So like I don't read my Bible every day. I read it a couple of times a week or in preparation for the sermon. So for Lent this year, I'm thinking about starting a 40-day devotional practice, that hopefully will continue, throughout the rest of the year. But yeah, I think going to the gym would be great. I think starting an exercise routine is fantastic, use of Lent. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I do like the idea about reading the Bible since I've never actually read the Bible through ever in my life. I just read bits and pieces of Bible studies in church and stuff like that. So if you do that Bible thing and you make out a schedule and stuff like that, share that schedule with me. Maybe I'll join along with you because I do have a Bible. I do have a Bible sitting right there on my nightstand, ready to go. So, but yeah, if you decide to do that, let me know. I'll join along with you. And I do want to try to, like I said, I want to get to the gym more. And I want to start, first off, utilizing the membership I have. It's a 24/7 gym. There's no excuse for me not to go. I don't go to bed until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night anyways. So
nothing worse than being charged for a gym you're not using.
Right. Exactly. So, so I know, and obviously I got 4 days to figure it out, whatever, 4.5, whatever days to figure it out and stuff like that. So, I'm excited for it, and I know a lot of people are like, why do you go, why do you celebrate Lent? You're not Catholic. It's like Lent's more for all religion, not just Catholic, and so I might do that and everything. It's just weird to think that first off, I'm surprised you think that it's going slow. To me, it feels like, the fact that we're through the first month of the year already is ridiculously quick.
Yeah, I think it just felt slow living it, but now it's like I'm going, oh crap, we're 10 days into February already.
Right.
How'd that happen?
Right. And I am glad that we kind of got to the religious point because there is a topic I do want to talk about today that came up, and I never knew about it. It's interesting when you read about it. But have you ever heard of a church called Loretto Chapel or Loretto Chapel?
It sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
So Loretto Chapel is a former Roman Catholic church in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
All right.
It's now used as a museum and a wedding chapel. Is known for its unusual helix-shaped spiral staircases, the miraculous stair, and it has been the subject of legend and circumstances surrounding its construction, and its builders were considered miraculous by the Sisters of Loretto. Loretto. How am I pronouncing that? Loretto?
Yeah, Loretto. Yeah.
Loretto.
Yeah.
Who credited St. Joseph with its construction. So there's a lot of history about the church itself. I do just want to kind of focus on the staircase itself. So let's see here. Let's see here.
Is the staircase miraculous?
That's what I want to try to find the actual point where they actually talk about the story of it. Because there's so much here, but whatever. Okay. Loretto Chapel is best known for its helix-shaped staircase, which rises 20 feet to the choir loft, which making two full turns, all without the support of a newel or central pole. The staircase is built mostly out of wood and is held together by wooden pegs with no glue, nails, or other hardware used. The inner stringer consists of 7 wooden segments joined together with pegs, with the longer outer stringer has 9 segments. The exact wood used to build the staircase has been confirmed to be a type of spruce, which is not native to New Mexico and scientifically not identified anywhere else in the world. There are 33 stairs, which has been noted to be the age of Christ at the time of death.
Mm-hmm.
The handrails were added later in 1887, and an iron bracket was later attached to the column to add additional support. The staircase is supported by an inner wood stringer. Apart from the claims of its miraculous nature, the staircase has been described as a remarkable feat of woodworking, according to the Washington Post column by Tim Carter. According to another professional carpenter who was interviewed by Ben Radford for the book Mysterious New Mexico, he said, and I quote, "The execution is just incredible. The theory of how to do it, it bends it around in a two-turn spiral. There's some difficult arithmetic there." The staircase was built sometime between 1877 and 1881. By this point, the chapel was substantially complete, but still lacking access to the choir loft, possibly due to the unexpected death of the architect, Projectus Molly, in 1879. According to the version of events passed down by the Sisters of Loretto, multiple builders were consulted, but were not able to find a workable solution due to the confined quarters. In response, the nuns prayed for 9 straight days to St. Joseph, the patron saint of carpenters. On the last day of the novena?
Novena.
Novena? What's that? Oh, a mysterious stranger. Oh, yeah, what's novena? Sorry.
It's the 9 days of prayer.
Oh. A mysterious stranger appeared and offered to build the staircase. He worked alone, using only a few simple hand tools, and disappeared afterward without collecting his pay or the sisters learning his identity. More fantastical versions of the story have the work taken place overnight, while according to others it took 6 to 8 months. In an event, the finished staircase was an impressive work of carpentry seeming to defy physics, as it ascends 20 feet without any obvious means of support. The Sisters of Loretto viewed its construction as a miracle and believed that the mysterious builder must have been St. Joseph himself. As the story spread, the staircase became one of Santa Fe's most famous tourist attractions. The staircase, as originally built, lacked handrails and was reportedly was so frightening to descend that some of the nuns and students did so on their hands and knees. Eventually, railings were added in 1887 by another craftsman, Philip August Hecht. The stairs have been mostly closed to the public since the chapel became a privately run museum in the 1960s. Joe, was it St. Joseph?
Was it St. Joseph? I don't know. I am willing to say that it could have been. I'm skeptical of a lot of stuff, but I appreciate when mysteries happen. And have I told you about my I feel like I had an experience similar to this when I was in Italy.
No.
Where it was the first weekend that our group could get away from Florence.
This was your senior trip, right?
This was my senior trip,
Okay.
yeah, of college.
Gotcha.
We went. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I remember you having the trip, but we actually never really talked about many stories from that trip.
Oh yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I definitely have no idea what happened on your trip. I just know you went to Italy in your senior year of high school.
Yeah. Oh no, this was college, senior year of college.
The same thing.
Yeah. We
listen, man. Listen, it's 9 a.m. I'm drinking
Touché.
bullshit coffee that I didn't grind myself because I'm not you.
Fair. I didn't drink that this morning yet either.
Yeah, but you still get Starbucks.
That's true.
Okay, senior trip of college. Now this is this from? Well, okay, never mind. It has to be the college you graduated from. So senior year.
Yeah. When I was at Purdue. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, wait, Purdue.
Yeah.
You were a senior in Purdue?
I was.
I don't remember that. I thought you were a senior at the commune.
Oh, at North Park?
Yeah. I guess not commune. What is a religious church called?
Are you looking for seminary? Is that what you mean?
There we go. Thank you. I was like, I don't think it's a commune. That's close, but not right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So senior year of Purdue. Okay. Now I'm on board.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the summer going into my senior year at Purdue, I got to go on a 6-week study abroad program, which was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. It was the way things had worked out. When I started at Purdue, I was going to be an engineer, and then about halfway through that, I was like, I really feel called to pastoring. I'm going to change my degree from engineering to religious studies. And as a result, I had to very quickly get some classes out of the way that I needed that weren't part of the engineering degree, but were part of the liberal arts degree. And so one of the ways to graduate on time was that I had to take an extra language course and an extra humanities course over a summer. And one of the only ways that could happen was if I happened to go on the study abroad program and take, semester 3 of Italian and an art history class. Oh darn. Oh, what a hardship to have to go to Florence, Italy for 6 weeks to graduate on time. So that's what I did. And it was a great time. I learned a lot about a lot of stuff, I feel like. And, anyway, so we were there for 6 weeks, and I believe the way the program works, they do want you to have cultural experiences, and so they do plan like weekend trips that they're not mandatory, but if you don't go, like you're wasting a lot of money to not go. And then they have other weekends are free, and you can just you can go do whatever you want. Some people went to Belgium and did skydiving because when's the next time I'm going to be in Europe and I get to go skydiving in the Alps? To me, you're in Italy, you got to do Italy stuff. It's very silly, come back and do skydiving in the Alps some other time.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy I don't know if it's authentic, but pizza in Italy?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a fantastic place in Florence for that matter. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they opened at I believe 4:30 in the afternoon, and by about 3:00 the line would already be around the block waiting for them to open.
Oh wow.
And so the best thing, one of the best things in the world to me was to get in line about 3:30. You're going to be waiting for half an hour anyway. Mm-hmm. You get up there, you order your pizza. It is, they had specials. You could either do you could do cheese, you could do margarita, or they would have a daily special, and it would usually be mushrooms and truffles or sausage and something. Yeah. I would always do the special. I liked, you're putting it out there as a special. I'm going to have it, right? It's, to go to a place and only get the thing that I know I like is silly. Anyway, You do that, and then as you're leaving, you stop at the liquor store on the corner, because they have liquor stores all over the place, just like any big city. And you get yourself a bottle of wine for, 10 or 15 euros, so about, $8 to $15 American. Which is, that's the lowest price you can pay without getting wine that one of my mentors in Italy referred to as poison. If you went any cheaper than that, he's like, it's poison. You're going to have a hangover. Don't drink that.
Yeah.
And what's cool, I don't know if it's cool. One of the neat things, is that, if you buy a bottle of wine at just like a corner store, they'll give you Dixie cups for free to drink it.
Really?
Yeah. And so we'd go and we'd get our pizza. We'd get our bottle of wine. And then, there's a bridge, right? So there's lots of cool bridges in Florence, because the river Arno goes right through the middle of it. Mm-hmm. And most of the bridges were bombed during World War II.
Yeah. And
had to be rebuilt. There's one bridge, it's called the Ponte Vecchio, which literally means the old bridge, that still stands, and it's really cool, it's beautiful, there's like housing and shops on it, and it's fun to walk down. But there's another bridge just past it that you can climb over the railing, and there's like a little thing that you can sit on, and you could sit and eat your pizza and drink your wine and watch the sunset over the river and over the city. And it was like one of the greatest experiences of my life. Anyway, one time...
Real quick, before you get into that. When you're talking about these bridges and everything, are they like straight up stone or wooden bridges? Like, what are they?
Stone.
Like, okay, so is it like that cobblestone or something like that?
Yeah, a lot of it is. Or it looks like it anyway. I don't know if they used the same materials when they rebuilt it.
Gotcha.
Okay. I know the Ponte Vecchio is. It's old, like, dug it up from a quarry and trucked it in stone. And then on top of it, all the structures are wooden.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because they were built,
Yeah, because when you're saying bridge, I'm just thinking like, when you're saying bridge, I'm thinking about like just like a pass-over bridge, but you're talking about like actual like merchants on this bridge. So it's
for the Vecchio, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I know nothing about Italy other than I know that there's a building out there that's a little crooked. So.
Oh yeah, in Pisa. Yeah.
Is Stonehenge? Where's Stonehenge at?
England.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I just know about the crooked building. So okay. Anyways, your experience.
So anyway, so the second weekend is our first free weekend. And at this point, jet lag has finally caught up with me, and the fact that like almost all the people I went with are like fraternity sorority people. Mm-hmm. So we literally, I think we got off the plane, and we were going out every night, and like blackout drunk every night. It was bad. And so by the time we get to the second weekend, I'm sick. I haven't slept a full night in 2 weeks, and all my calories are coming from like Long Island iced teas and Jaeger bombs. Is rough. But we decided to go to Venice, and not just Venice, but we're going to stop by Verona. So like that's where Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet takes place. I think we did Venice and Verona at the same weekend, and then came back. I don't think we did the third thing. But as we get to Venice, we are trying to find, we had booked a hostel. We were going to stay in a hostel. And, I don't know if we just didn't.
Which is what?
So it's like a hotel, but it's cheaper. And instead of like rooms, you get together. Like, what's that?
Is it like something where like everyone's together?
Yeah, it's more like a dormitory than a hotel. So you don't necessarily get your own room. It's like, 10, 15 people might be in a room that's just bunk beds.
Why is it called a hostel? Sounds like an aggressive use of a word.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, so the word hotel, and the word hostel both have the same root. And in French, they've taken the S out, and, the word hotel has a little, accent over the O that signifies that there used to be an S there. I think it's just a weird thing where like the word, for some things shifted one way and for other things shifted the other way. So it just means hotel basically.
Gotcha. I'm just wondering now what came first, the emotion or the sleeping arrangements?
Maybe both.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out because is when somebody is being hostile, is it because people don't really get along in hostels?
Could be.
Interesting. Anyways, so you're in a hostel.
So we're trying to find the hostel. We get into Venice at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Mm-hmm. And we are trying to find this place. And we've got our GPS because some kids brought their, had international plans on their phones. And we're wandering around the city at 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. And the reason we're staying in a hostel is because there's some special race, boat race that weekend that all of the hotels in the city are booked. Yeah. So we're in the suburbs. Well, we get off the train and we're wandering around trying to find this place. The guy who is running the place speaks every language on earth except English. Literally, he's like, you want to talk in German? I can talk in German. You want to talk Italian? I can talk Italian. French, Afrikaans, Swahili, I'm your guy. English, can't do it.
Swahili, I'm your guy.
Yeah. And literally, as he's yelling at us on the phone in all these different languages, we're just and I'm the only one who speaks any decent Italian. I've taken a couple semesters and I could do it, but I'm so sick that I can't understand what he's saying and I can't think. So we do our best, and finally, as we're wandering around, we run into these two guys. And it's literally, we're walking around, and I literally had put my hands in my pockets to grab onto my keys just in case we needed, because it seemed like we were in a rougher place of town all of a sudden. Yeah. And I prayed God, please, help us find this place. And literally, I finished praying, and these two random dudes just showed up. They don't speak English, but they understand it. We don't speak Italian, but we understand it. And so we're able to communicate with them, as much as we can. And they allegedly are headed to the same place as us and know how to get there somehow. And so they walk us, basically to the place. And then it turns out they're not even staying there. They went somewhere else. And, we thought we run into them again because they were like, hey, we're going to be in the city all weekend. Maybe we'll see you. And, we literally never saw them again. And one of the things I think about with scripture is, when angels show up to do nice things, it's usually two or three of them. It's not just one. The only time it's one angel is if there's a message that has to be shared or, a warning, right? But whenever it's hospitality, whenever it's kindness, there's at least two. And so yeah, I really truly, maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it was just two nice guys that we ran into. But I really, the coincidence of them showing up the second I stopped praying, and then the fact that we never saw them again, they gave us contact info. It never worked. They disappeared off the face of the planet, as far as I can tell, immediately after getting us safely to the place that we needed to get. And so I feel like that's one of my personal miracles that I got to witness is these angels literally delivered us to the place where we were going to stay the night. And so, yeah, so all that is to say, maybe it was St. Joseph. Maybe it was literally, Jesus' dad showed up in some form and, incarnated form, some human being, built the staircase and then left. We don't, I'm willing to say maybe. I think it makes life more interesting and more beautiful. And it doesn't hurt anybody to believe that. So,
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, cause things like that it's fantastic. And I don't think, and I guess when I originally asked you the question, I guess I wasn't asking if you believe it was Saint Joseph himself, but more of an embodiment, like a human person with the, I don't want to say, I don't know what the nice word is for possession, but
yeah, like the spirit of Saint Joseph, like not in a possessive way, but in like Jesus had the Holy Spirit upon him.
Exactly. Yeah, like somebody was touched by the power or the entity of because I'm trying to remember if I've ever had an experience like that, and I'm as far as I know, I've never had a situation where somebody has come to me, but I know that I have had moments where it's like I was brought to somebody.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, realistically, like, hearing your story and listening to you talk about it and everything, like, it sounds really relatable to a situation I was in, like years ago. Like, I'm talking, like, 2008, 2009. Where, like, I was still living at home, and I was just sitting there and I was watching TV, and in my mind, I just kept thinking to myself, I was like, I need to get gas. Like, I need to get gas in my car, which... this is like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Like,
yeah, you don't need gas in your car.
No.
You get it in the morning.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, it's like I got nowhere to go tomorrow. I got nowhere I need to be. I know I got about like a quarter tank of gas. Like, like if I need to go anywhere, I can, get gas while I'm out and everything. Like, there's no reason for me to get gas, but I'm laying there. Like I said, just watching TV, and for some reason, I just kept thinking, he's like, well, I need to get gas in my car. I gotta get gas in my car. I need to put gas in my car. And it's like, the only gas station that's open right now is Shell, which is over by the McDonald's. And where, Mom and Carl live, where the Shell gas station is off the highway. It's like, man, it's not a long drive, but it's like, I don't need to take that drive to, I don't, especially.
Yeah, it's not a short drive either.
Yeah. So, I'm like, I don't need to get gas. Like, I don't need to get gas, but I need to get gas. I need to get gas. I need to get gas. I need to get gas over and over and over. And like, and it's not like, and like when you hear thoughts in your head and you hear like things communicating in your head, you kind of hear your own voice in a way. Like, you hear your own self telling you, hey, go grab something to eat. You're hungry. Go grab something to drink. You're thirsty. Blah, blah, blah. This was different. It was different. It was just like it was a sombering tone that said like, go get gas. Just go get gas. You should go get gas. And I don't know why, but eventually I just got bugged out. I'm like, fine, if I just go get gas, I wouldn't be thinking about this anymore. So I got up, threw some clothes on, got in my car, and I drove and got gas. And I get to the gas station and I'm pumping gas and everything, and there's this couple who is just going at it with each other, just arguing with each other. And it's a younger couple, like, not 2008, 2009. I was probably like 19, 20 years old, so maybe a couple years older than me, like maybe 21, 22, whatever like that. And like, this dude is just like screaming at this fucking girl. And it's just like, in my mind, I'm like, it's not my place to get involved. It's not my place. I'm just here to get gas. And dude just fucking takes off. Like, just yells at her, swears at her, just takes off. And she's just sitting there now, like crying on the walkway in front of the gas station. And the girl who was working the gas station, again, it's like midnight, I think, by the time I went. Then maybe like 11:30 midnight and everything. So nobody's around. This girl is watching from outside, she's like watching this happen because she was a small girl. Like she was going to be able to get in this guy's face and everything. And, so she comes out and she starts talking and all this stuff to this girl, and this girl's like freaking out. And, while I'm sitting there getting gas, I just keep hearing this thing. It's like, grab your phone, blah, 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 blah. And while I'm sitting there, I was like, I'm not going to, first off, I don't touch my phone while I'm pumping gas. Even though nothing's going to happen, there's just always that weird sticker that says, like, don't be on your cell phone while pumping gas. It's like, no, in my head, I'm just basically I'm fighting myself. And it's like, I don't need my phone right now. I'm fine. I'm pumping gas right now. I'm not going to worry about it. And then the pump just goes off. Like tank's full.
Now you got no excuse.
Right. So, I closed out the gas cap and everything. And, I grabbed my phone for some reason, whatever. And, the girl comes over and asks me if she could borrow my phone. And I was like, yeah, sure, I got it in my fucking hand, sure, whatever. And she calls, I don't know who she called, a parent or a sibling or some shit, telling them what's happening and all this shit. And apparently she's from out of state. Like, I don't know, it was Missouri or Kansas or whatever.
Oh.
And they were heading up to Wisconsin or some shit to meet some fucking people. I don't know the whole story. I just remember her like talking on the phone, telling these people like,
right, she didn't
like,
tell you this. This is
just... Yeah. She's like, I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what to fucking do. I don't have any of my stuff with me. On and on and on and on. Because he booked it with her purse, everything fucking gone. She had nothing. And she said something like, I'm just using some guy's phone. I don't know what to fucking do, blah, 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 blah. And, all I kept hearing was, all I kept thinking about now was, at this point, so after the phone call and everything, I kept thinking about Taco Bell. I just kept thinking about Taco Bell because I don't know. At first I'm sitting there thinking to myself, it's like, why is this girl who's upset making me thinking about tacos?
Right.
So I'm sitting there thinking about tacos, and all of a sudden this girl asked me, she's like, do you know of any hotels in the area? And I was like, yeah, there's one actually right in Mantino, which is actually not that far away from a fucking Taco Bell.
Right.
And, this Uber, shit like that really didn't exist back then. So she asked me if I could drive her to the hotel, and then the person on the phone could book, no user quicker, and all that stuff. And without hesitation, I said, yeah. Like, without hesitation, I said, yeah. Didn't even mean to fucking do it. It just happened. Because usually people go through the process like, I don't really know this person. Usually my pessimistic mindset would have probably been like, is this just all just a gag to, get her boyfriend to rob me or some shit, blah, blah, blah. But
right,
it's like, yeah. Long story short, I drove her to the hotel. She said thank you. I had never heard from her again. I'm assuming everything was fine and everything, and I did get tacos. But there was no reason for me to get gas that day. There really wasn't. There was no reason to, but something drew me to being there at that moment. And it's like a weird feeling. And, I don't understand it. There have been a couple incidents like that. There were times where, I took a wrong turn and, I guess instead of like turning around, I just kept going down. I was like, well, instead of turning, I'll just go down, take the next left and shit like that. And, ended up at a gas station again where somebody had a flat tire and shit like that. And like helping them like change the flat and all that shit, or, going out to, grab something to eat or something like that. And instead of going to one restaurant, stopping over at another restaurant, and somebody needed like to jump their car or some shit. And like, it's weird moments like that where you can't explain why that moment's happening. You just, it is what it is. And a lot of people can just say it's like, oh, it's just a coincidence or it just happens and stuff like that. But I just always, up until now, I never really thought that it could have been more than that. But, obviously hearing about the staircase and reading about the staircase and learning about how prayer brought them to there, and how you're talking about, some random people showing up and showing, was there a moment in this argument where this girl said, I need to get out of here. Please get me out of here. Like, did she, in her mind, have a fucking prayer to where some guy 5 minutes away was awake, doing absolutely nothing, could just fucking show up? And, I find myself to be a very trusting person. I find myself, it's not like I'm going to abduct this fucking woman and, she'll never be seen again. I'm a very trusting person in a sense, Again, I'm pessimistic. Is like, God, am I going to be driving this girl to Mantino and her fucking boyfriend's going to like follow us and, you know, ram me out, you know, weird thoughts like that happen, but, yeah, it's just weird. So, I mean, I believe there's got to be more situations like that than anything. And I'm going to look. I'm going to take time, and I'm going to start thinking about if there was ever a moment where I needed somebody and somebody just happened to pop up, because I don't think that's really happened, but there's got to be a moment that really happened. Your story is fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of the things that really made me, like, I'm on the right path. I chose the right thing, because I was really doubting it. I you know, it's a big, I always wanted to be an engineer, just like I always wanted to be a pastor. Yeah. And so, you know, choosing one path or the other was a tough choice. But yeah, I had the same before I switched. I had this building feeling in me that's like, you gotta change. You gotta figure out, you know, what, you know, where you're going after Purdue, and you gotta make that path make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Maddie calls it, your number coming up. It's like a lottery almost, you know, like, you know, sometimes you'll pass somebody who's asking for change, and you're like, like nothing moves you to do it. But then every once in a while it's like, you know, I don't have any cash on me, but let's go walk to the ATM. I'll get you $50. And she's just like, yeah, your number came up that day. So you had to, not that you didn't have a choice, because you can always choose not to, but because of who you are as a person, you didn't have a choice. You had to go do it.
Yeah. Well, and I think too is like, because a lot of things, my God, just get to the point. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I mention a lot that I do believe that we are given challenges in life to prove who we are.
Yeah.
I think a perfect example is, you know, somebody asking for money, you not having it. Are you willing to go out of your way to change that? You know, to get somebody money. I know a story I have told on here was the homeless guy in Moni, where me and Jenna were, my ex-girlfriend at the time, was driving. I don't remember where the hell we were going. I think we were just going to get something to eat, and I think we were just going to McDonald's or something. And I don't know why we were going to Moni, because obviously there's one right in Peatone. But we left Peatone and headed towards Moni, and we're going to McDonald's. And when we were driving towards McDonald's on Route 50, there was a guy on the side of the road that says, I don't remember the exact words or anything like that, or pray for me to eat today or some shit like that. I don't remember the verse. I just know the word pray and eat and today were there. So I don't remember the exact word, but obviously I was driving. Jenna saw the sign. So, and I do remember her using the words pray, eat, and today. I just can't remember what the hell else it said. We're going to McDonald's, and we're ordering our food and everything, and she wanted to order extra food and bring it to that guy. And I was like, sure, I'm fine with that. You know, it's whatever. You know, if it's something we could do, that's something we could do. So, you know, I know we ordered an entire meal. I don't remember the sandwich, if it was a Big Mac or a pound or whatever, but I know it was one of the bigger burgers, you know, large fry, large drink. I don't know what that was. Sure. But when we drove past to drop it off, gone. Like, he was absolutely gone. And we didn't see him come our way, so he wasn't heading north on Route 50, so we didn't see him there. When we got to the corner, we turned left, because it was a T intersection that this was at. So we turned left, went down the road a little way, see if maybe he was walking, you know, east down the road. Didn't see him there, came back, and went up onto the overpass, which was right over there too. Didn't see him there, and I was like, Jenna, we were gone from this guy for like a total of like 10 minutes at the absolute most. Like, there's no way he gotten this far. If he went anywhere, he walked into the woods, he walked, you know, somewhere else. She's like, yeah, but there's no way that he's not on one of these roads. I mean, if he had to walk anywhere, he either walked into the forest preserve, which was the only place we didn't look. Either he walked into the forest preserve or he's walking through somebody's yard right now. But there's no way he wouldn't be on one of these roads. And then obviously heading south on 50, we didn't see him again either. So I was like, It's like, I don't know. All I know is that now we got an extra meal that, we got to eat, But thinking about the conversation we're having right now, I guess I could look at it as like maybe it wasn't so much getting somebody food, but seeing if we'd be willing to get somebody food.
Interesting.
I would have loved to have fed the guy.
Sure.
Obviously, I know in a selfish way, I kept thinking to myself, like, I can't believe I just spent $8 on food that I don't want to eat.
Yeah.
But I guess deep down, like you said, like, like when you look at these challenges that you put in front of you that, you need to, to show how strong you are, what kind of person you are. I guess there's also those, like, I guess in a way, you call them pop quizzes.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not looking for you to feed this guy. I'm just seeing if you would, if you could. And I don't know, I guess in a sense, I could say I passed that. Obviously, I guess to give credit, I guess Jenna more likely passed that because I didn't give it a second thought. And it sounds shitty to admit that, but I mean, it's the truth. Jenna did. And I know that relationship made me a better person for the time that we were together. But yeah, I paid for it, so I get part of the credit. So, but no, that's cool. And like I said, I mean, when I saw the video about this staircase, I had to look more into it, and I was like, I don't know if Joe's ever heard about this. I never heard about it. But when they're talking about this staircase that's put together by pegs, no glue, no wood, no brackets, and stuff like that, and I was like, I mean, it's obviously, it's a pretty impressive feat to do, especially back in the 1800s and stuff. And
right, you're talking hand tools.
Yeah, and it turned into a conversation I didn't expect to have, and here we are. We talked about it. We talked about it on the last episode. Like, this is one of the things I love about this show is because we turned into so much more. So, Joe, what are you freaking thinking about?
Ooh, what am I freaking thinking about? Not to take it away from positivity and things, but I'm freaking thinking about my mortgage. It's a silly thing, and it's just bugging me. And the mortgage company we used was the one that our realtor recommended to us, and it's fine, whatever. But they recently, I don't know if they sold to a different company or they just decided to reorganize as a different company or what. But they're literally, it's the same name. But instead of being registered like here in Illinois, they're registered in Texas. Okay. And so as a result, they had to I now have a new loan number instead of the old loan number. I have to sign into a different website, for the information. I got to do, all kinds of just stuff that I don't feel like I should have to do, for this thing that's it's at least a quarter of our income every month. That is going to this for the next 30 years, or from now 27 years. And it's just why? Why does it have to be like this? Why can't you just, be the same company for 30 years and not make me have to jump through hoops to have a house? What else has changed? Did anything else change when you changed? Do I still have all the terms of our previous agreement? Are they the same, or are you getting out of something by doing this? What's the shady thing that's happening here? Or is it just saving you money somewhere else? I don't know. It bugs me. So that's just on my mind. That's what I'm thinking about.
It's a valid point, Joe, because a lot of these companies, and it could be mortgage companies, cable companies, phone companies, credit card companies. It's they sit there and they promise you these excellent fucking relationships working together, that everything's gonna be okay and they're gonna be here for you, and then one fucking day they double your fucking cost of fucking watching TV, or they increase your and it's always the same thing. It's like it is based on the market that we're in. Mm-hmm. It's I'm sorry, but I know I'm not the only customer that Comcast has. So I know I'm not the only person you're charging $200 to watch fucking cable and use internet. It's like you don't need, and Colin, I remember Colin used to talk about cable all the time on here. And he says he's like, wireless internet doesn't cost anything, but it costs us everything.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense. He's like all these like phone companies, like they want to charge you for internet. It's like, but you don't. It's like it doesn't cost them anything to use the internet.
Right.
And it's like he's right. And I've been lucky enough to, I mean, I got a mortgage company that I've had since I bought the house, and I think they changed from Flagstar to Lakeview or wherever the hell the power. I mean, for me, nothing really changed as far as like, my mortgage or interest rates, and none of that stuff has changed at all. It is what it is. But I know, like, when I was looking into like HELOCs and all that stuff to try to get like a consolidation loan to minimize my credit card debt and, have a smaller payment every month and everything. Looking up online, the best place to get a home equity line of credit, like Flagstar, they had a review about Flagstar, and they said they have lower rates. It's one of the better ones to work with, except fees and stuff are more. So it's like, and the guy in the video said it perfectly. It's like, they're always going to get their money.
Yep.
And that's the thing that sucks. And especially, I don't know if all mortgages are the same. I don't know if you're the same as mine, but you're basically paying interest first.
Yep.
You're paying off the interest before you even get into the principal or whatever the premium, whatever the fuck it is.
The principal, yeah.
Yeah, and that sucks. I hate that that's a fucking thing. But
yeah, they even give you the print, like the sheet that shows you, like, so we know how much interest you're supposed to pay over 30 years. So for the first 15 years, you're only going to be paying the interest off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unless you set it up to not do that, and you can do that. That's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, all my paperwork is like right here in my drawer and everything. And I guess one of the cool things is if you do pay extra on your mortgage, like if, let's say your mortgage is $1,400, but you pay $1,500 a month.
Exactly the situation I'm in.
There you go. The extra $100 should, as far as I know, at least for mine it does, goes towards the principal.
Yep.
So at least I know, like, when I'm paying a little bit extra, at least I know it's paying down that principal. So as I get closer and everything, it kind of cuts it back. But even then, like, when you sit there and look at it, like, I got a 30-year loan. I've only been in this house for 8 fucking years. 9. It'll be 9 years this October. It's like, I got 21 more years. Yeah.
When that paperwork said this is going to be done being paid off in 2050, I was like, that's not a real year.
That's not, that year doesn't exist. And the thing is, like, I mean, obviously with the mortgage, nothing changes, but property tax change constantly.
Yep. Well, that's why I'm paying more now. We were paying 16 a month. Mm-hmm. And it dropped to 14.10. And so I'm like, well, I'll just keep paying 15 because we could afford that just fine, and I'll just have the extra 100 go. So now it's going to take it's going to take 44 months off the length of my mortgage. So almost 4 years that I'm not going to have to pay on the other end. So
which is terrific, and it's just weird things like that. Like, when I went into my house, I think my mortgage was somewhere. Well, the first couple months it was only like 1,000 something. But that's because the year had to end on the rate that the property tax was on, and the people that previously owned my house were an elderly couple, and they were on the senior discount of the property tax. So as soon as
senior freeze.
Yep. So as soon as January rolled around and everything, it went up. So
and by then you don't have the homeowner's rebate yet, which comes after the second year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it jumped up to like I think like 11.7 or something like that. But then after insurance costs went up and property tax, now I'm at like 12.10 and everything. I'm just like, so you guys suck. It's like, come on. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if I want to keep my house, just these are the things I got to do. And like I said, I was blessed enough to buy my house for the price I did, and I just gotta, just get through it. But yeah, I definitely gotta look into those HELOCs and get that finally figured out. I talked to my tax guy, got my paperwork. Well, hopefully Mom dropped the paperwork off with all of hers and stuff. And I was asking him, and he said, like, it just really depends on what you're looking to do, but let's get your taxes done. We'll see where you're at after that. And it's like, I did get an email recently from my company saying that I have about $63,000 in available equity in my house. And I was like, I don't need all of that. I just need a third to get myself into a better, comfortable situation. But he said he'll look through it with me once we get the taxes and all that stuff done. I'm not expecting anything from taxes this year. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if you use Credit Karma or not. But they have like a program on there where, I guess I get it. Do you use Credit Karma?
Nope.
I'd recommend it. It's actually kind of.
I use it for my credit score, but I don't use it for taxes. Maddie does our taxes.
No. Credit score.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do use it for my credit score.
Okay. So yeah. No, I use whoever my mom's company, whoever Interstate Battery uses, that's what we use.
Gotcha.
But on Credit Karma, there's this little thing on there that says, hey, put in this, we can tell you what your tax return looks like. And I was like, I don't know how, I pray to God it's inaccurate as fuck. Because it says, based on the shit I put in, I'm gonna owe $1,200 fucking dollars.
Woof.
And I was like, I hope to God that's not right, because I claimed 0 on my taxes to get more taken out so I don't fucking owe.
Yeah.
So if I end up owing $1,200 fucking dollars going forward, I'm fucked. Because it's just, there's no way I should have to owe. There's absolutely no fucking way. And if I do, then I know that our government and our country is flawed as hell.
Yep. My problem is I know for a fact I'm going to owe at least $5,000 because I did not pay federal taxes all year.
Accidentally or intentionally?
I mean, it wasn't on purpose, but it wasn't an accident.
Gotcha.
I just the IRS has been changing their system, and so like last year at the time when I was supposed to sign up for my I'm supposed to pay quarterly. Since it's not taken out of my paycheck.
Yeah.
And so the way that you do that, there used to be you would go and sign up online and they would automatically take it out of your account. And they still do that, but you can't sign at the time last year, you couldn't sign up online. You had to let them know you wanted to do it, and then they mailed you something, and then you filled that thing out and sent it back in. I never filled the thing out or sent it back in, and so I never got my direct deposit set up for that, and so
gotcha.
Yeah. So I'll have to pay the taxes I didn't pay, and then also a penalty for paying late.
Gotcha. Well, I played the lottery yesterday. I haven't checked, so I don't know if I won or not. But
same, but I know I didn't win because I did check.
Okay. So did it roll over?
I didn't check that.
Oh, gotcha. So who knows? Maybe I'm sitting on $130 million, $150 million, whatever the hell, half of what it truly is, because that's the way apparently lottery works now.
Right. It did roll over.
Okay, so I did not win. So sorry, I can't help you out. No, no problem. Sorry to you. I tried to, like I said, I'm here to try to win to make everyone else's life better. I don't know. So yeah, what I'm freaking thinking about though is tax season.
Yep.
That's definitely my big thing I've been thinking about is my taxes and getting everything back, and hopefully I actually have a return and I don't owe, and pray for the day that they say, hey, you're no longer fucking paying taxes, because that'd be, isn't that what we had that big ass war back in the 1700s about was? Actually, correction, I have something else I'm freaking thinking about.
Oh yeah.
And I recommend it to you. There are always books and podcasts and shows and everything that you recommend. I want to recommend one to you.
All right.
And I know I've talked about Parcast on this show before.
Parcast?
Parcast, yeah, it's like that podcasting network thing or whatever like that. Kind of like Freakin Studios, but huge and popular, bought out by Spotify. They had a series. It's a 13-episode series. It's called Very Presidential.
All right.
And what it did is they talked about 13 U.S. presidents, not current ones. Probably the most recent one, maybe Gerald Ford or something like that.
Interesting.
But there's 13 presidents that they talked about. And what they did is they talked about the secretive dark side of their presidencies and shit nice. Like that. And it's very interesting. The shows are like 40 minutes long, if that.
That's right on the edge of listenable for me.
Yeah,
And
and some of the guys they talked about Ulysses Grant. They talked about Andrew Johnson, Andrew Jackson, George Washington, both Roosevelts, Kennedy, Gerald Ford, Reagan, and whoever took over for Kennedy. I can't remember his fucking name now. Fucking big dude.
Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson, yeah. It's an incredible series. Like I said, it's only 13 series. It's awesome. One thing I did not realize is how many presidents, and just based on the 13, 11 of them cheated on their wives. I did not realize how much adultery happened when you're a president of the United States.
No kidding.
Nutty. And the weird thing is too, half of those adultery, ridden presidents, their wives knew and just let it be what it was.
Yeah.
But obviously they talk about like scandals. They talk about things, shady things they were involved in. It was so interesting. Like I listened to it to and from work all week long. And, nice. It's a fantastic series, and the one thing I loved most about it is like it did not dive once into anything current. So I didn't have to hear negative shit about Trump, negative shit about Biden, negative shit about Obama, Clinton, Bush's, none of them. Nobody in our lifetime anyways. I was like, I'm fine with that because first of all, I love older shit to begin with. I love historical stuff. It's really interesting when you sit here and you listen to like stories about George Washington that obviously the history books don't tell you about, and Kennedy, and it's really cool. I recommend listening to it if you ever get a chance. If you ever I think you would enjoy it because I think you enjoy history as much as I do. So
I think presidents are fascinating too.
Yeah. So
mostly because I think they're all terrible people, and so being able to hear this is why they're terrible, that appeals to me.
Well, see, and that's the weird thing too, because when you listen, okay, so for example, U.S. Grant, one of my favorite presidents. I love Grant. First off, I did not realize that the S did not stand for anything.
Oh yeah,
he loved America so much he just changed his name to U.S. Grant. Also, kind of a bitch. He was not the fighter, ready to do thing guy that I thought he was. He was very anti-confrontation. He did not like confrontation. Even though he was a general in the Civil War, did not like confrontation. Very timid guy. Also, only about 5'7". Did not know that. Huh. But that was interesting. Theodore Roosevelt, for the most part, I kind of knew most about him, being the hunter guy, the outdoorsman, all this other stuff. I did not realize that after he won his second term, he announced that he will not run for a third term, and he instantly regretted it and then attempted to run for a third term, but by that time they were done.
Yeah.
Did not realize FDR had a few mistresses. So,
I didn't know that either, but that makes for whatever reason, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and apparently even his cousin wife, Eleanor, had a mister. So it's interesting to hear about these guys. And Grover Cleveland was a rapist. Learned about that.
I can't believe I've never heard that one before. But
yeah, for those out there who are related to Grover Cleveland, I could be completely wrong on the name, but I'm pretty sure is Grover Cleveland the one that won, wasn't president, and then won again. Yeah. Okay, so apparently there's a story out there that Grover Cleveland had sex with this woman. Was trying to court this woman who had no interest whatsoever. She finally gave in, went on a date with him, and then he sexually assaulted her, got her pregnant, and then
she had to marry him because of the mores of the time.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No. You would think. Took the baby, gave it to somebody else to raise, and threw her into a mental hospital.
Oh, Lord.
So, there's a lot of oh my God, I can't believe that shit. Because obviously you don't learn those things in school.
Yeah. I knew his first presidential run, he won because he was so incredibly corrupt. Because there was like an actual political machine that put people in power. And so the first time he won, that machine put him in.
Yeah.
Then his second one, he didn't want to go along with him, so they took him out of power. And so he used his previous influence to dismantle the machine, which made him appear to be very honest, which is how he won his second term, 2 terms later.
Yeah.
I knew about that. Yeah.
This is how fucked up Grover Cleveland. So Grover Cleveland's first wife, okay, I believe is about 27 years younger than he was. His wife was the daughter of a woman that she thought Grover Cleveland was going to marry, whose husband died, that Grover Cleveland blamed to be the father of that woman that he sexually assaulted. So I guess not to Quentin Tarantino it, but he sexually assaulted a woman. That woman got pregnant. He accused his best friend of being the father of the baby because he was dead and wasn't there to defend himself. She became a father figure to his daughter and kind of courted his widow. And instead of marrying the widow, he married the daughter instead. That's Grover Cleveland within the first term. But Joe, like I said, it's interesting.
Yeah. That sounds fascinating.
I enjoyed the series, and I recommend you check it out if you like, learning about presidents in that way.
Yeah, sure. And 40 minutes, that's perfect. That's 20 minutes to work, 20 minutes home. That's one podcast a day. Easy. Yep.
Also, fun fact: George Washington, most serious guy in the fucking world, and the only thing that he did that people thought was entertaining or fun is he named his dog Sugar Lips.
Amazing.
Yeah. Apparently, there was one time where some dude wanted to go be chummy with Washington, and everyone's like, "Hey, don't do that." And he's like, "Why? He's a good guy. He people get along with him." And some dude betted him. He's like, "Go touch his shoulder, and I will buy you dinner." Guy went up to George Washington, tapped him on the shoulder, and said, "How you doing, George?" And George took a step back, stared at him. That guy walked away and said, "Well, you owe me dinner, but I'm never doing that again." So, I do. I 100%. I don't really recommend things, but when I do, this is it. This is the thing. I urge you, like I said, 13 episodes, 45 minutes a piece, whatever it is. But it's a fantastic series, and like I said, I love the fact they didn't do one on Lincoln, so I guess I'm okay with that. I would love to hear more about Lincoln's dark side. But yeah, so I definitely recommend checking it out.
Nice. So, all right.
Hey, Joe.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, I would. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Every week our listeners can catch Cartoon Joe here on this Freakin' Show. But if an hour of Cartoon Joe just isn't enough for our listeners, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Excellent. Guys, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching This Freakin' Show. And, of course, you can listen to our podcast audio-based wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search This Freakin' Show. We'll pop up everywhere. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when they come out. And also, make sure you do the same thing at our Freakin' Studios YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up on our videos you watch. Leave a comment. And let us know your opinions and thoughts on whatever you watch or listen to, because we love the feedback, and we like to hear from you guys. And we do the best we can to respond back. So, guys, that's all I got. As always, I am Travesty.
I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freakin' Show. I'm out.